In the grand chessboard of international diplomacy, the relationship between India and Israel has been a fascinating dance of strategy and survival. Tracing back to their nascent stages as independent nations, the duo has orchestrated a compelling march through the labyrinth of diplomatic ties. The historical narrative saw India leaning towards a pro-Palestine position, an ideological stance mirrored in its core principles of anti-colonialism and unity amongst emerging sovereign states. This diplomatic dance was a poignant performance of India's foreign policy, a reflection of their shared struggle with Palestine as nations battling colonial shadows and striving for self-determination. As the curtains rose on a new century, we stood witness to an intriguing twist in India's international relations. The country initiated a strategic pivot towards Israel, a development choreographed by shared interests in the contemporary arenas of technology, defense, and counterterrorism. This pivot symbolized a departure from India's traditional diplomatic waltz, heralding a new era of Indo-Israeli ties. Yet, the drama unfolded further in the late 90s, where the narrative took a paradigm shift. India began fostering warmer relations with Israel, a move orchestrated by their shared aspirations in technology, defense, and counter-terrorism. The current cross-border violence between Israel and Gaza has brought about a new, disconcerting development. War has always been a breeding ground for innovation and adaptation, with each side constantly looking for ways to gain an edge over its opponent. The ongoing conflict between these two geopolitical entities is no different. Recently, Gazan militant groups have honed and adapted a new tactic in their continual struggle with Israel. This approach involves the large-scale, simultaneous launching of numerous rockets with a singular strategic aim in mind. The objective here is not merely to cause widespread destruction, but to specifically exploit a perceived weakness in Israel's impressive and state-of-the-art air defense mechanisms. At the heart of Israel's air defenses lies the Iron Dome rocket interceptor, a technological in its own right. This system boasts an impressive 90% success rate in intercepting and neutralizing incoming projectiles. However, the sheer volume of rockets being launched by Gazan militant groups has served to challenge this industry-leading technology. The considerable volume of incoming rockets increases the likelihood of some finding their way through Israel's defense net, thus creating an amplified threat to Israel's own security. Israel's Iron Dome rocket interceptor, which has a 90% chance of shooting down rockets, has been challenged by these mass launches. India's support for Israel in the conflict against Hamas can be viewed as a further development of this evolving relationship. This stance, however, is not a mere act of choosing allegiances in a simplistic binary fashion, but instead it is indicative of a larger stratagem that India is employing in its foreign policy. It is an illustration of the deep-rooted and often complex geopolitics that guide the international relations of nations. India has always been known for a foreign policy that values peace, diplomacy, and mutual respect. Its support for Israel does not mean that it supports all actions and decisions made by Israel. Instead, it could be seen as India's recognition of Israel's right to security from non-state actors like Hamas. In the same vein, this support does not imply a blanket acceptance of all Israeli policies, especially those that may infringe on the rights of the Palestinians. However, it is crucial to understand that supporting Israel in this specific conflict doesn't mean forsaking the Palestinian cause. India's perspective on this issue is pragmatic as well as values-based. It understands the need for a two-state solution and has always advocated for the legitimate rights of Palestinians. This is a reflection of the delicate balance that India maintains in its international relations, defying the zero-sum game thinking of with us or against us, but rather navigating through a nuanced path that caters to its national interests while respecting international law and the rights of all concerned parties. In this ever-evolving and volatile scenario, it's important to remember that India's support for Israel does not negate its long-standing commitment to the Palestinian cause. India's support for Israel in the conflict against Hamas is a multifaceted issue, interwoven with historical ties, strategic interests, and the changing landscape of global politics. A broad perspective into this issue reveals a web of relations and interests that trace back to various points in history, each contributing its own unique influence. An important aspect to consider is the historical ties between the two nations. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1992, India and Israel have engaged in numerous exchanges in fields as varied as technology, agriculture, and defense. These interactions have created a solid base for mutual support and understanding, both in times of peace and conflict. To add to the complexity, the strategic interests of India in the Middle East region cannot be overlooked. For India, maintaining a relationship with Israel is not just about political alignment or historical friendship. It's also about ensuring a balance of power, securing its interests, and maintaining stability in a region that holds significant importance for India's energy security. The changing landscape of global politics further complicates the issue. With the shift in power dynamics and the rise of new political alliances, nations are required to reassess their foreign policies continuously. As a result, India's stance towards the Israel-Palestine conflict is influenced by a multitude of factors that are constantly in flux. The recent escalation in violence has only underscored the intricate and often precarious balance that nations must maintain in their international relations. It's a reminder of the delicate diplomacy that is needed to navigate the volatile world of global politics. India's support for Israel in the conflict against Hamas can be attributed to its evolving diplomatic relations with Israel, shared strategic interests, and the changing dynamics of the contemporary world order. This support is not a sudden development. Rather, it is the result of a steady shift over the years, a reflection of the changing political landscape and India's strategic calculations. Since the establishment of full diplomatic ties in 1992, India and Israel's relationship has evolved significantly. As India began to diversify its international relationships, Israel emerged as a reliable strategic partner. The two countries have been cooperating in a wide array of sectors such as agriculture, water management, defense, technology. This shared strategic relevance, coupled with their common concerns about terrorism, has only deepened their bond. However, it is crucial to note that this support does not signify a departure from India's historical support for the Palestinians. India continues to advocate for a two-state solution based on international consensus and UN resolutions. It's committed to balance its upholding its traditional support for Palestine while maintaining its strategic partnership with Israel. Yet, these geopolitical realities are not static. The dance of international diplomacy is a complex one, with nations constantly recalibrating their positions based on global trends and national interests. As with any geopolitical issue, the situation remains fluid, subject to the ever-changing currents of international relations. We believe our geopolitical and economics research study has enriched your understanding on the topic. Moreover, if you are looking for political survey, geopolitical research and analysis, economics research and real-time data, and market insights including market size, forecast data, future trends, market segmentation analysis, regional market share, major companies, market share and competitive analysis, voice of consumer survey research and data analysis, we are happy to invite you to take a look at our recently published consumer survey reports and market research reports, and feel free to get in touch with us at www.marketresearchuniverse.com. Furthermore, we are happy to offer you unlimited reports downloading and data access at our platform from anywhere on any device starting now. Stay informed, make better decisions. Getting curious but undecided? No need to worry. Dive into a 7-day free trial extravaganza, immersing yourself in a world of mega-trending market research reports and consumer survey reports for data-driven decision-making. Startup Business Plan reports with new startup business idea, generation support, and vibrant community facilities. Why wait? It is time to discover, decode, drive your market research universe for data-driven success. Get started with a 7-day free trial today. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow our social handles at Market Research Universe for regular industry updates.